you're looking for ways to increasing the CTR, the click-through rate, I'm going to give you 3 so you can start implementing them right now and get those numbers up. Before getting started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the icon to receive a notification every time I release a new video. Hey there, how are you doing? So this is Brian Grayson here at BSR Digital. I'm going to give you 3 tips to increasing the CTR. So now the CTR is the click-through rate, meaning that you have the people who click on the ad divided the impressions, not the reach, the impressions, right? An average CTR depends on many things, but you can have an estimate of 1% as average or good. Above 1 is usually good, below 1 is not. But this is for conversions campaigns, right? If you're running a traffic campaign, meaning that Facebook is going to give you clickers, then the CTR is going to be much higher, but the conversion rate is going to be lower. So I'm going to talk about the conversions campaign. If the end goal is getting conversions, but the CTR is affecting the cost per click, because actually the cost per click is the CPM, the cost per 1,000 impressions, divided 1,000, divided the CTR. Again, CPM divided 1,000, divided the CTR, that's the CPC, the cost per click. So if you actually want to get the CPC down, you need to either get the CPM down or the CTR up. But here's the thing, the CPM, you can actually control so much about that because Facebook is an auction, and the CPM basically is based on many other things that you kind of control so much. But the CTR, there are 3 things you can do right now to control it. So number 1, you need to actually target the right audience. And this might seem straightforward. You might be saying, Brian, really, you're telling me this? Yes, you need to target the right audience because I always say, and I have a video on this, that you want to target people who play, I don't know, golf. And you say, okay, I'm going to go buy, I'm going to use the interest golf. Is that it? Brian, I'm targeting the right audience. And I'm telling you, no, you're not. Right? Again, I have a full video on this. I'm not going to go in depth on that. But in a nutshell, golf is not enough. It's too broad. So you need to actually go so much in depth to target the right interests, the right audiences, to deliver the message to the right audience, right? That's number 1. Number 2, add text overlay in your images, in your ad creatives. This is interruption marketing. So people are not on Facebook or Instagram to actually buy. So they are scrolling down their feed, and if they see an image that says nothing, because it doesn't transmit any emotions, any message, it doesn't address any needs, any pain points, any desires, then it's nothing. So you say, but I have a cool image, I have a well-produced thing, a well-produced even video, but yeah, it doesn't say anything. You need to trigger people into action. You need to trigger people into action. So text overlay, not just any text overlay, but the right text overlay addressing a pain point and need. So you need to do that. Cool exercise for doing that is to actually list everything that your audience is struggling with, their pain points, the desires they have, all stuff, and then drawing an arrow to the right and say, okay, what can we do about this? And write it down. And then you can order them by priority for your customers, and then you can start with those. Short, to the point, but you should have that, right? The third one is that you need to plan that for mobile, because we write in the computer, we create ads in the computer, but the vast majority of users and those customers are on mobile. So we plan the whole thing on desktop, and then we go on mobile, and the headline doesn't read, the text overlay looks funny, the creative looks funny, is not big enough, so you cannot highlight whatever you want to highlight, and thus, when you confuse, you lose, as Donald Miller says. So if you don't want to confuse, if you want to show a real message, you actually need to write for mobile. I'm going to give you actually a 4th one. This is a bonus one. You need to personalize the content. You don't need to go heavy on this in the beginning, right? You don't need to create 1,000 ads for 1,000 different audiences. But if you if you work on the avatars, and I have another video for that as well, you will actually know what they want, because Avatar 1 is not going to want the same thing as Avatar 2, right? You might have the same product, but those have different desires, different needs, right? I'm a chiropractor, let's say, a chiropractor, and I'm targeting people who run marathons and elderly people, right? So elderly people actually cannot get up from bed or from even an armchair if it's too low, because they cannot get up, they are in pain, and they want it to be over. But then people who run marathons want to be ready to run the next marathon again, and may have a different trigger, a different emotion. So be ready to run your next marathon soon, or you are exhausted from your next marathon, let me fix you. So it's a different message, right? A different message. So same product or same service, different avatars, different messages. And if you trigger them with the right pain point or the right need, the right desire, you are going to get more clicks, and thus you're going to get a higher CTR, and thus a lower CPC. So for the same amount of money that you're spending, you get more visits. And if the conversion rates, the website conversion rates is the same, you're going to get a higher, um, let's say, a lower cost per acquisition, and thus a higher ROAS. So by increasing the CTR, keeping the other factors the same, which is highly likely, is going to actually make a huge impact in your business. Run the numbers. I have a revenue calculator or ad spend calculator that I'm going to leave in the video description, that you can actually use to forecast how the CTR can affect the numbers in a huge way they cannot even imagine. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. And hey, if this is too much for you and you are a business owner and you want a professional team to handle the things for you and be on top of the latest trends for you, reach out at hello@bsrdigital.com. That's hello@bsrdigital.com. It's going to be in the comments anyway. So I wish you again a great beginning of 2022, and see you in the next video. Thank you.